Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie Samuel reporting, and welcome to episode 3 of my Euro 2020 podcast, bringing you all the latest updates on Euro 2020. Today in my podcast, I am joined with my first guest, Sam Savas, a previous student at Holmes Glen who studied sport development and event management. Welcome to my show, Sam, and how are you doing today?
Thanks for having me, Jamie. I'm doing pretty good at the moment. How about yourself, mate?
Yeah, excellent. Have you been keeping your eye on Euro 2020, and what have you loved about the tournament so far?
So far, there's been a lot of surprises in the Euro 2020, and I've been really shocked at a few results of the games. Like, for example, Finland beating Denmark, the fact that Wales and Switzerland had a draw, that really surprised me as well. But the fact that Macedonia are in the Euros this year is just amazing for the nation. But it is a bit disappointing knowing that even though Macedonia are in it, I'm just a little bit upset that Greece aren't in it this year. And I wish they were, but it's the first time they've missed out in a long time. So hopefully in the next set of Euros, they can be a part of it.
Thanks so much for that, Sam. Over the last day, we've seen a surprising 0-0 draw between Spain and Sweden. The Czechs got a 2-0 win over Scotland at Hampden Park. Patrick Schick scoring both goals, including a goal of the tournament contender, with an incredible chip over David Marshall, Scotland's goalkeeper, from near the halfway line. Sam, what was your take on the Czechs' performance today?
Mate, from what I saw, the Czechs played really good attacking football. Their passing was very accurate. They had really good pressure on both ends of the field. Those goals from Patrick Schick in the first half and the second half. The second half won the goal of the tournament contender. I don't think any other goal will top that off. If I'm being honest with you, that is goal of the tournament, straight up. I mean, if you see anything better like that, I'll be very surprised. But in my opinion, Czech Republic can go a long way after a very big win against Scotland today.
Excellent. Do you believe, after the loss today, that Scotland, considering they have England and Croatia to come, can make it out of the group for the first time in major tournament history?
If I'm being fairly honest with you, mate, I don't think Scotland have a chance after this shock loss today to the Czech Republic, considering there are a few teammates who are going to be playing against each other from England and Scotland. For example, you got Robertson from Scotland, Scotland's captain, plays for Liverpool. He'll be up against Trent Arnold-Alexander, or Marcus Rashford against Scott McTominay, both Man United players. If I'm being fair, I reckon England have the better edge because they've got a bit more experience, and I just think they're going to be more class, and they're just going to be too strong of an outfit for their next opponent against Scotland.
Yeah, and by the time they face Croatia, they won't be able to get through, will they?
No chance of that happening, my friend.
Fair enough. In other news, Slovakia have caused an upset, defeating Poland at the St. Petersburg Stadium 2-1. It was not the ideal start for Poland to this tournament, as an own goal in the 18th minute was credited to their goalkeeper Szczesny, despite the work of Robert Mack to squeeze the ball in at the near post. Poland did get their equaliser through Karol Linetti within 30 seconds of the second half kickoff, after he turned the ball in after a neat exchange down the left channel. But Kiroak got the tournament's first red card after receiving his second yellow after a late challenge. Slovakia made the most of their extra man, scoring the match-winning goal through Milan Skriniar after he struck it in from a corner kick. It was certainly an unexpected victory for Slovakia. Sam, do you believe Slovakia can continue to find this type of form when they face Sweden in St. Petersburg?
I reckon when they face up against Sweden, it's going to be a draw, I reckon. Because the fact that Sweden have a really good, strong defence, right? But again, anything could happen, in my opinion. The fact that Slovakia were even able to beat Poland, to me, that's a massive shock. That's a big surprise result so far in the tournament. But then again, anything is possible with any team. So, I mean, anyone can win, really. But I will say that I don't think Sweden will lose their next match.
And do you believe that Poland will struggle to rescue their tournament, considering they face Spain next up in Seville?
My answer in a short sentence, yes, I think Poland will struggle. I don't think they've got a good enough attack to go past Spain's defence. I just think Spain will come out on top wanting revenge, getting the win. They'll be hungry for another win.
Yeah, absolutely, considering their surprising draw today.
Absolutely.
That wraps up today's action. Now we are looking ahead to the group of death beginning in the next 24 hours. We are going to get our first look at reigning champions Portugal, runners-up France, and Germany. Sam, what are you looking forward to seeing from these top nations at the Euros in the next day?
For the next day, I'm looking for plenty of goals, I hope, but also feisty action and, attacking football, right? With Hungary and Portugal to begin with, the fact that Ronaldo is going to be in the Portuguese team again with alongside Bruno Fernandes, one of the best Portuguese players I've seen that play in the last year in the Premier League for Manchester United. I mean, the way he plays as a central attacking mid, I reckon he can do anything. Him and Ronaldo playing together is just phenomenal, and I just think Portugal are going to be too strong for Hungary tomorrow.
And if you had to predict who would be the winner of Euro 2020, who might that be?
That's a tough one, actually. There's a lot of good nations, but considering what I've seen in some of the results so far, there's been a few shockers and there's been a few good results. I actually think Portugal will be up there again, but I'd love to see Germany up there, if I'm being fair, or even England. They're my top three of who I want to win it, but I don't have a specific favourite to win the whole tournament.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I mean, I'd certainly love to see the Netherlands do well as well. Don't forget about them.
Of course not.
As they return to their first major tournament since 2014. So champions Portugal face a stern test in Budapest, facing Hungary at the Puskás Arena. This is a tough draw for Portugal to defend their title, even before they face Germany or France, as they must tackle a Hungary side who have a strong backing in Budapest, who have a special night ahead of them to host the reigning champions. It is being hosted in a city where 9 of the Hungarian players were born. Cristiano Ronaldo is 5 goals away from a world record 109 at international football level. He will be assisted by quality players such as Rui Patricio, Pepe and Bruno Fernandes. They will be led by coach Fernando Santos, who spoke ahead of the clash with Hungary. Obviously, as contenders to win, if we don't get through the group phase, it will be a failure, he said. But I don't believe that will happen to Portugal. I think people have the right and are correct to demand that we do everything in our power to win. Using our quality, organisation, commitment, and I believe we are prepared for that. Portugal have the ability to go toe-to-toe with any team that also has ambitions to win the tournament. Hungarian coach Marco Rossi spoke about his side's ambitions at Euro 2020. We will do everything to push ourselves to the limit, he said. We will keep our feet on the ground, but of course we want to achieve our dreams. Dreaming is free, so we dream. We will talk about it and want to live that dream. Let's hope it continues during the Euro. Sam, with Ronaldo being so close to the record amount of goals, how many will he score against Hungary?
Okay, because it's going to be a pretty good test for Portugal to kick off their title defence of the Euro 2020 comp. I'd love to see Ronaldo get a hat-trick, but realistically, I don't think he will. I reckon he'll get 1 or 2 goals tomorrow, providing an assist from Bruno Fernandes.
That sounds fair enough. France will face a stern test in Germany at the football arena in Munich. These sides will meet in a group stage for the first time ever. Germany will be looking to exact some revenge for the 2016 semi-final defeat to France 1-0. They will also look to perform well beyond what they did in Russia, losing 2 of their group stage matches to Mexico and a shock 2-0 defeat to South Korea in the final match sent the champions of 2014 home in the group stage. It was no question an embarrassing performance, and they will look to the Euros as an opportunity to bounce back and show the world they are still a force. German coach Joachim Löw spoke ahead of the clash with France. You can feel the positive tension in the air and anticipation. I really thought, finally, when I got on the bus to come here, he said. I'm calm, relaxed, and think that in the last 14 days we have done what we wanted to. Tomorrow it'll be important to see what the team has shown in those couple of weeks against such a top-class team like France. Sam, how far do you feel Germany will go in this tournament?
Considering the group they have with facing up against France and Portugal, two of the top European teams in the world, it's going to be a tough draw, I reckon, for Germany. I mean, those two teams are just as good, but then again, anything is possible. But to answer your question about how far they'll go, I'd love to see them make the Final Four or even the round of 16 at minimum. But then again, anything can happen. So it's an predictable tournament, this one. But I'm just going to say that Germany will go to the Final Four.
I think that's a pretty fair answer, considering the quality that Germany have. And who are some of the players for Germany that can make a difference?
Manuel Neuer, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, is definitely one. So considering he is one of the best German goalkeepers who currently plays for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. I would also love to see their veterans, Thomas Muller and Toni Kroos, go well in the tournament. But also the young German striker, Timo Werner, who's coming to the Premier League. He hasn't performed at his best just yet, but maybe in the next Premier League season he'll do better. But as preparation to do better in the next Premier League season in a few months' time, to be participating in the Euros, it's going to help him gain confidence and hopefully he can get a few goals on the board.
That's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing what those quality players can produce at this year's finals. As for France, they will be looking to continue their form of the last two major tournaments. In their own backyard, in 2016, France went down to Portugal heartbreakingly 1-0, with Eder delivering a deadly strike in the second half of extra time. France, however, would lift the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, after defeating Croatia 4-2 in Moscow, winning their second title, and they come into this year's Euros as the world champions, looking to lift the double. They will look to the likes of Paul Pogba, Antoine Griezmann, Karim Benzema, and Kylian Mbappe, and be led by coach Didier Deschamps. Deschamps spoke ahead of the clash with Germany. It's a massive game for us to start with, he said. It's a massive game for us, but also the Germans, because we're both among the top European nations. The objective is to be effective and both boxes, because that's where the game will be decided. Sam, who wins this game for you and why?
Honestly, mate, this game's going to be a really tough ask. With the quality talent such as Kylian Mbappe and Antoine Griezmann, Hugo Lloris, as well as Paul Pogba, all in the same starting 11, man, it's going to be a fantastic game. I'm telling you, man. I really don't want to see a draw out of two great competition teams. But in saying that, I would love to see a high-scoring game. You know, I want to see plenty of goals. I want to see a lot of action. And both teams putting in 100% effort into within the 90 minutes of the game. My prediction for this game, I'm going to just say France in a close game. The scoring margin, I reckon it'll be 3-2. My reason being, folks, I just think they have a bit more talent and they've got a better chemistry than the German players team does, in my personal opinion. But then again, anything is possible.
Yeah, we are certainly looking forward to this clash. It'll be a great game to kick off for those two teams this year. Finally, Finland will face Russia at the St. Petersburg Stadium. They have the chance to basically wrap up a place in the knockout stage for the first time in their history following that upset win over Denmark. With 3 points from their opening game, Finland is under less pressure than Russia. They need to focus on the same compact game that earned them the win last time out. Sam, what do you think Finland fans and their players are thinking, considering they have the chance to progress to the knockout stage for the first time in any major tournament with a win over Russia?
Well, for the fans, obviously, it's really exciting times for them, right? And the fact that they're going to make progress further in their first ever national tournament, like the Euros, it's massive for them, and it's a proud moment for the Finnish fans. But as the players, obviously, they're really excited and they can't wait to progress if they beat the Russian team. But then again, they got to keep focused and have that mentality on stay focused in the game and not looking further ahead. They need to take it one game at a time, right? If Russia do the same thing, they could get the win. But if Finland do the same thing and keep playing attacking football the way they did in their last game, I reckon they're a good chance of winning this one.
Agree with you there, Sam. Russia will look to rescue their tournament hopes in front of their own fans. If they go down, it will be hard for them to get through to the knockout stages after their defeat to Belgium. Sam, what have Russia got to do in order to rescue their tournament, considering the form Finland are in after their win over Denmark?
In all seriousness, I reckon Russia need to win their next game, but also they'll need Belgium to lose to Denmark. That's the only way they're going to save themselves to keep progressing in the tournament. But I just don't think Russia can win this game against Finland. I just think Finland have got more class than Russia do, and I just think Finland will be just a little bit too strong for them. But if Russia end up winning this next match, they're going to cause a massive upset.
Yeah, I think we're all excited to see what Finland can do. And that concludes episode 3 of my Euro 2020 podcast. Sam, thanks so much for being the first guest on my podcast.
Thanks for having me.
All good. And remember, if you are keen to be a guest on this podcast, you can reach me on my email in the video description or via the LinkedIn profile in the description. We look forward to seeing the football from the reigning champions Portugal, runners-up France and Germany over the next 24 hours. But for now, thanks for tuning in to my Euro 2020 podcast, and I look forward to bringing you more action in the next 24 hours.